Welcome to the pasta lab. Very race car, and this poor race car has been waiting for a very long time for me to give the owner a little bit of a hand, because it's suffered a little bit of a catastrophe in the front here. An engine very bad. Was. So owner has, Carl, I don't think he's going to care if I use his name. Carl has pulled it apart and he's fixturized it, and just needed a couple of things done to make it good to put on dyno. So he ran out of time. I'm sure he won't mind me telling the story. He ran out of time because life got in the way. It just needed to be cranked over and get some oil pressure and kick her in the guts and fire it up. It didn't want to, so it took a little bit of tomfoolery, shall we say, a little bit of finesse. It'll either go or explode. It has compression, it has oil pressure, it's been primed. Goes. Phil Collins, The Land of Confusion. That's really quite appropriate. Back onto the Lancia. Been doing some things on this. We may disclose at a later date, but for now we won't. It's reassembly time, and I was just putting the radiator back in. So the owner's made a shroud up. It's not a bad effort. It's galvanized tin, which is obviously not ideal, but he's done what he could do with what he had by the looks of it, as a lot of people do. The fan ends up sitting very, very close to the exhaust manifold and turbocharger and all that stuff and things in there, just because tight packaging and all that sort of carry on. I'm not sure if this has happened in the past, but there's a little bit of melty going on there. Now originally that had some shielding on there. I posted a picture of it online anyway, so those who follow on the lab, and you'll see the shiny clamp here. The exhaust V-band clamp here was a little bit stretchy, and the flange was a bit distorted, and this flange was a bit distorted as well, and so we had a couple of exhaust leaks that needed rectifying there. So while I was busy chasing all those, I pulled this nice fancy heat shielding off here to make sure we didn't have a crack had formed or a leaky gasket or whatever. And there were no issues there, but unfortunately the stuff that was applied to here just destroys itself when you try and take it back off. So I believe somewhere on the wall over that way is some shielding that I'll put on there. Let's go off topic a little bit. I mounted this in that machine over there called a lathe, right? So, and I used the nice flat circular flange on this side, which is parallel to this, to hold it in 3-jaw chuck on lathe and spin it to face that and get it flat. And some dickbag, yeah, I just called you a name, I think his name was Lee, on Facebook goes, heard of a milling machine? That's a milling machine. And yeah, I've heard of one of those. Heard of, I'm asking him now, heard of a nice circular round thing that goes into a chuck in less time than it's taken to explain this, compared to trying to find a way to mount this successfully without it moving in there. Like, yes, you could probably put it V-band face down here and use these, goes in the slot like this, and then you clamp down like that, and you could probably find a bar that was the right length and hope that it's going to hold inside the taper that's here. One side's probably might do, the other side maybe not. and then hope that it doesn't come loose while you're busy trying to spend probably a good 5 or 10 minutes running the tool all the way around the edge of this, and the thing's buzzing and vibrating and carrying on as it tends to do in a milling machine. You get generally a pretty shit result unless you've got a really big milling machine. You want to use a fly tool and all that sort of carry on. Versus, in the entire time that I've been talking, describing this whole thing, the job was finished in the lathe. It was done. You mount it in the chuck, you turn the lathe on, you spin the tool across it, it's done in like 30 seconds. So that's why it was done there and not on the milling machine. It's funny how people on Facebook think they are smarter than everybody else. Yes, I appreciate that I'm on Facebook as well, but hey, whatever. Anyway, massively distracted there. So there's that whole scenario. The fan is mounted. One-handed job. Hang on. Oh, let's see if I can drop it. Nah. So it goes like that, right? So you imagine the fan's quite close to all the hottie things. And the compressor housing hangs out in the breeze a little bit more. Actually, it's probably a little bit less than that stud that's hanging out on the exhaust manifold there. The exhaust turbine housing, I should say. Let's get these things right. So I'm going to take fan off shroud, take shroud off, put fan over to the side here. And I think we'll have a better result, a better system. And I'll put some nice heat shielding on there for him. And I'll replace some of the tabs that were on here that were, again, these were the top tabs for the radiator, and he's just done what he could do with what he had, right? So, but I'll donate some of this time to him because I feel like it. I've got a lot of time. It's Sunday, I'm in no rush, and I'm gonna make some nice mounty tabby thingies and get this looking all beautiful for him. Why not? Did I say it runs very nicely, very smooth? It's not bad, right? There's a little bit, you can see things moving, but that's got some pretty serious cams in there. So that's pretty good. And how am I keeping it so quiet without annoying my neighbours? Well, I've got that door closed, so that reduces the amount of noise that goes that way. And I've shut it up. I know, it's not particularly good for it. And I shouldn't leave a fresh set of cams idling, but it's actually run long enough now that it's not a problem anyway. We did enough of the old not keeping the speed constant while we were sorting out other things. There's some rattles happen from that cam belt cover, which I need to sort out. You just heard it once there, just went ding. So, pretty good. I'm going to let that get up to temp, and I'm going to double check that there are no coolant leaks and oil leaks or anything of that nature, and then we'll take advantage of this lovely weather, get it down the road and see about getting it tuned. Rightio. Just going to run it for a bit. There's no neighbours to piss off here, so I can run it for quite a lot longer and just double check everything, make sure we don't have any problems, and then it's going to go in that room over there and make some noises. There is one follower I know has got like 2 thou more clearance than what I wanted. That should be alright. A loose valve is a happy valve, isn't that what they say? Sounds alright. You could just hear that tick 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 every now and then. Sounding better than it ever has, I think. I can see why the neighbours were a bit annoyed with that noise. I understand. Right, it's a nice day. Oil on heat shield is bad. Very, very bad. Fire! Fire! There's a freaking fire! 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 Oh no. No, it's all good. Don't worry. Rightio. We are all set, ready to go. This will be the first pull. Who knows where we're at? Things have been adjusted and set up in the general ballpark. and we'll just see what it does, see where we're at.
Not sure if he's going to do a pull. He might go through. Various RPM and just check the mixture. Probably what he's up to. That's what she's done in the past. Just shy of 250 horsepower at the hubs. That's the torque at the hubs. We just need to do better than that. Just going through, doing some static RPM, setting mixtures, etc. RPM.
Finally, a little bit quieter. Right, if I said this one was a bit of a fighter and didn't really want to give up what we were asking of her very easily, then that would be an understatement. Many drama, but that's all right. We all understand that's kind of what you get. Older car, many spanners thrown at it, and the more times people work on them, the more stuff that gets built in that's got problems, basically. And age contributes as well. So long story short, yellow line is what it used to be in the past, and the green line is the most recent pull that we've done. It's had an exhaust cam. That's basically the only thing that would make any change to the power. It's had a whole heap of stuff to make it actually not explode, but the exhaust cam being changed is the only change that's been done. So pretty good gains had from that. We're just over 240 horsepower here, and we're just over 200, well, it's 265 or something, isn't it? You look at the numbers down the bottom there and it'll tell you it's 265. We need to put the other cursor on there, but we're not worried about that. So, and then same deal over here with torque. More torque to start with, kind of matchy there, and then it had a tiny little bit more torque, and then it all just disappears, and we just keep going with quite a bit more. and then it comes away again. So perhaps the inlet camshaft might make more power out of it. Obviously they only took it to, what is it, 6,000 RPM in the past. We've gone to 6.5, and at 6.5 we're kind of about the same sort of power as what they were at 6. So as it fell away, you know, so it's got a bit more, another 500 RPM of usable horsepower there, and another 20 something horsepower through a 2000 RPM window, something like 1500 RPM window. So not bad for a little, I'm going to avoid saying any slang, nicknamey things in case I upset someone. So there might be some Italians watching. I'm not going to disrespect. So hopefully Mr. Carl will be happy with the achievements. Very good. Thanks for watching. Cheers, boy. Little tart is not finished with us yet. We thought we were done. We were doing parts throttle things, and he was just going to do a couple of pulls to video for you guys, and it would be the last because it stopped us. The last pull that we did started off immediately. There was an exhaust leak, and it's probably eaten the gasket, the exhaust manifold gasket, or something along those lines. There's definitely a significant exhaust leak, and I'm about to pull the front of the car to pieces again to get in there and see what it is. Let's go. That came apart pretty quickly. Had to loosen the manifold to get enough space to get the gasket out, what there is of a gasket. I'm pretty sure I have one of those at home, so it's pretty late in the day now anyway. I'll go home and check and see that I've got one of those. If I have, we'll be back here in the morning to finish off where we're at. Cooling system needs a massive flush, so I'll take this outside and give it another hose out. Big sigh, right? It's done. Oh look, it drew blood. It must be done. Ugh, bleeding. It could do with some valve springs, stronger valve springs. We suspect we're getting valve flow, and it could do with a inlet camshaft. If you wanted to make more power or run 300 horsepower at the engine reliably without any issues, those two things would be good. But otherwise, it's not too bad. There's a few things to deal with, and I'll probably run through them on a separate video. It has been quite a fight to get it to literally that spot there. Didn't put out easily, I guess you could say, without being too rude about it. But yeah, everybody's happy. Big job. Way bigger than anybody thought it was going to be, but that's how it goes. It's a bloody beautiful day, and I'm about to jump in the old ute and head home and find myself somewhere nice and quiet to sit for a little bit. Can't complain about jumping in that and driving home at the end of the day, eh? That's all good. Shall we start it up? Does it start? Bloody hell, here we go. Here we go. I'll get into my unit. It won't run. That'd be annoying, wouldn't it? War. War. It's good, eh? Don't worry about the oil light flashing. There's a little resistor behind the dash here that I have to replace. Figure out why that has stopped working, and that makes the oil warning thing go away. It just thinks it's got low oil, see, as per this, but it actually hasn't. It doesn't even have the sensor, which is why I need to replace the little resistor to bypass what used to be a sensor. See, goes away. The oil warning light might go if it runs low on oil pressure. I don't know. I could try that one day and find out by unplugging the pressure sensor and seeing what happens. Either way, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, blah blah, hit the notification bell and all that bloody stuff and things, alright? Cheers, boy.